In the last episode, we finished up the first part of our big refit on the Ragdoll 3, and it was time to finally launch the boat back into the water after 2 months in the Boatyard. Weeks of sweat and hard work had led to this moment, and we stood back, proud, watching her absolutely gleam. A world away from the tired old boat we bought just 7 months ago. Now, we knew that she still had a long way to go. There were countless little things to fix, to polish, and to perfect before she'd truly become the boat we envisioned. But that didn't matter. What mattered was how far she had already come and how much she started to feel like ours. I'm Daria, this is Chris, and that's Jasper, and these are our seaworthy dogs, Hachi and Luna. This is our floating home, Ragdoll. For 2 years we called a 47-foot monohull a home. Now we've set sail on a chapter aboard a catamaran, embracing the beauty and chaos of life at sea. Full-time work, homeschooling, storms and sunsets, this is our reality. No script, no certainty, just wind, waves and the endless blue. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoy this episode.
We're going. Thanks to Elio and the yard guys. So it's been a pleasure. I mean, it has. It's just been a really long few weeks, months even, but we're out of here. So we are at anchor. We have been for the last 2 hours because we've been taking the boat apart. It looks like an absolute shit tip in here because we've had to mouse some wires from the console there all the way under the floor into the chart plotters as we're trying to connect up our B&G autopilot before we go. What we thought was going to be an hour-long job was basically an hour of taking the boat apart. We finally got it. We finally got the cables through. Now we're just figuring out what else is going to break. And hopefully once this is done, we can pack up, get ready, and go to Barry. Well, we tried. We have left the anchorage and we are underway. However, our autopilot is not working. There's a couple of more bits to do with it, so unfortunately we have to get to Barry because we've got marina booked and Chris is leaving fairly quickly. So we have no choice but to hand steer for the next 24 hours. Yay! So I'm going down for a nap first while Chris starts the evening, and then we're just going to alternate throughout the night.
The crossing turned out to be one of our toughest yet. We hand-steered for nearly 36 hours, fighting the Italian coastline currents, the wind and the swell, most of it being right on the nose. During a night watch while Chris was slept below, a loud thump shook the starboard hull. I thought we snagged the line or hit something, but soon realized we'd lost forward propulsion in the starboard engine. It wasn't ideal, especially in the sea conditions. We turned off the engine and continued on the port one. By morning, we decided to cut the trip short and pull into Brindisi, about 60 miles before Barry, to sort things out. With Chris heading off for work for a few weeks, we managed just in time to secure a month-long berth at Brindisi Marina. As it turned out, our con clutch had started slipping and needed lapping, a job we tackled during our stay there. Not often you see how dynamic an entry can be, but the approach to Brindisi was pretty dynamic with big waves on the beam. Not often you get to see them on camera. As we arrived in Brindisi at 5 a.m, we dropped anchor and, well, collapsed into bed before waking up around 11 a.m. to get to our berth for the next month. Looking back, our time in Brindisi feels a little bittersweet. While Chris was offshore, I settled into a slower rhythm of life, exploring the town, soaking up the sunshine, swimming and giving the boat some long overdue care after weeks in the yard. Chris returned earlier than planned as I had an unfortunate encounter and was attacked whilst walking the dogs one morning and ended up a little beaten up. Thankfully, other than some cuts and bruises, I was okay. Together, we got back to work on repairing the con clutch and replacing the last of the engine mounts we hadn't managed to change before launch. We spent a couple of days on the Brindisi quayside before setting off for Croatia. The sail to Croatia was beautiful. Arrival in Croatia was painful. We had lost Maya in an accident. It was sudden, it was tragic, and it broke our hearts. Maya was such a joyful, curious, loving part of our crew, and we will miss her every single day. It's hard to find the words, and some moments are just a little too raw to share, even now, months later. That's the red truck.
Checks on misses.
Oh, hi.
Did we lose Maya, but we nearly lost the boat too. We arrived at the back of a weather system and straight into one of the worst storms the area had experienced that summer. We ended up aground on the sand and rocks. It was sheer luck and deployment of our kedge amidst the building wind among us that saved us. Our keels buried in the sand just half a meter from where the boat would have smashed into pieces. We were exhausted, drained from the crossing and running on empty. We wanted to moor somewhere, but in the moment we didn't make the best choice. Looking back, I can see how much decisions of that day shaped everything that followed. The frustration, the tension, the quiet arguments, and the emotional toll that carried us, all of it could have been avoided. It was a hard lesson to learn, and the guilt of that day will stay with us forever. If only we had paused, taken a breath, and perhaps we could have spared ourselves some heartache and the heavy weight that still lingers.
I do not know how we survived that, but I'm starting to figure it out. So when the wind started coming in from out there, and we swung onto here, our keels would have been in that sort of sandy, rocky bit.
And we were just leaning against the rocks.
And we just touched and stopped at that, and we didn't come quite up to this ridge of rock here. But it shallows up that way, so the more it pushed us that way, the more it stopped us. And we also had the kedge out that way. And we also had the main anchor sort of out that way as well, so almost by dumb luck, we've actually ended up with barely any underwater damage other than the propeller, which took a line. So it's incredible. Like both rudders are fine. Both rudders are fine.
We landed on a shelf by some miracle.
A few things blew away.
Can go look for them.
Well, that's beyond lucky. Beyond lucky.
Croatia was meant to be a beautiful chapter for us, but it turned into survival. Amidst all of that was going on, we found that Hachi had metastasized cancer. We thought it was just arthritis a couple of months earlier, but it wasn't. And his time was heartbreakingly limited. We did have a couple of wonderful months together, which we focused largely on him and his doggy bucket list. Hachi sadly passed away on 15th of October 2025, and he will be so dearly missed.
Sanctioned by the mama.
And honestly, I don't even know if I want to put this video out, but there's been such a huge gap between episodes that I can't carry on without acknowledging the shit that happened, because shit happened. I know you'll have questions, but I just ask you to please be respectful. We do share a lot of our lives here, but living through it has been hard enough. In time, Croatia gave us time to breathe. After everything that had happened, we moved slowly, we moved intentionally, and we let ourselves recover from the months of storm, those physical and those mental ones. The coastline was impossibly beautiful, dotted with tiny turquoise bays and sleepy villages. The water was so clear and calm it almost felt unreal, and for the first time in a while, we allowed ourselves to move at the pace we needed. Some days we swam at sunset, sipped wine on deck, and laughed at the small ordinary things. Other days, grief and exhaustion lingered, reminding us that life afloat isn't the dream holiday that everyone imagines it is. Shit happens, setbacks arrive, and storm comes in many forms. Yet, even in those moments, there were fragments of joy. And it was watching Hachi dive into the water and seeing Luna's excitement as she jumped out the dinghy, and sharing those quiet moments together on deck, letting time stretch and settle around us. We slowed down not because the world demanded it, but because we needed to. Croatia became less about the destination and cruising, and more about the space it gave us to process, to heal, and to remember why we chose this life in the first place. And in giving ourselves that time, we found small pockets of happiness and the courage to begin again, however clumsily. So where are we now?
So we've just left Syracuse in Sicily. We're heading down past the bottom end of Sicily now, heading from Malta Valletta.
We will start filming again in Malta. For now, we've taken this time for ourselves, a pause to breathe, to reflect, and to recharge. And hopefully this episode at least partially fills the gap of the last few months, reminding us that sometimes cruising life isn't much easier than it is on land, and that setbacks happen wherever you are. I end this episode with the hope that ahead of us lie brighter days, full of laughter, adventure, and many happier times to come. See you in Malta!